Hare Krishna, Namaste. Question: why do only good people suffer a lot, whereas others seem to be enjoying life? It appears good people mostly suffer. When we talk to any spiritualist, they simply say it's because of their karma. The issue when we hear that I'm suffering because of my karma, it makes me very uncomfortable because I understand by attending some spiritual discourses, the karma is anadi, which has been there for time immemorial. That means if I am suffering now, the cause of that suffering could have been from any of my previous lives where I did something wrong. That could be from my previous life, or it could be 10,000 lifetimes back or more. But now I have no clue what I did that time. At least now I am innocent, I am good, but still I am being punished severely now in this life. I think this is very unfair to simply say you're suffering because of your karma. The judge of Supreme Court gives the judgment based on full investigation, and he reads out the final case report in front of all, especially the criminal, before sending him to be punished. But in the court of God, it seems such fair approach is absent. It doesn't seem God has this program. He just does it on his own because there is no one to question him, no one above him, no one equal to him. He does what he wants to do. Whatever he is, I am fine, but how can I correct myself if I don't know what mistakes I have committed? We usually hear that learn lessons from your past mistakes. Here I don't even know what mistakes I have committed. Then how can I learn any lessons out of it? So I think there's a bigger picture to this whole karma concept. Just simply blaming me or the living entities for their mistake is not good enough. I do agree I made a mistake in past, and that is why I'm suffering now. I believe in karma. I believe in God too, but I feel that God's program must be recoded. I am fine to get punished for my mistakes, but I'm not fine to accept to be punished without giving me reasons why I'm being punished. Therefore, I cannot accept the complete ownership to be the cause of my problems. God also plays a very major role in this whole thing because He doesn't reveal those mistakes of mine. Because He is not revealing that to me, I'm repeatedly making those mistakes, unable to learn lessons to avoid those mistakes. Now, before we see the detailed answer for this question, there is one simple way to address this question by asking a question to ourselves: why some people are in the prison and why some are not, and how many in percentage are in the prison and how many are not. It's a simple answer. Those who are not in jail, prison, are those who abide the laws of the government. Those who are put into the jail are the lawbreakers. There are less prisoners compared to those who are outside the prison. That means majority of the people follow the laws. There are less percentage who doesn't. The Lord has given us the law book, the Dharma Shastra, is Bhagavad Gita and many other literatures to guide us how to lead a life which is faultless. If we abide the laws of God, we can be a good citizen. If not, we become a lawbreaker and we must be punished. There shouldn't be any difficulty in understanding this. The question has multiple sub-questions. Let's see. One is why good people are suffering while evil ones are enjoying. 2. Why good people are suffering for unknown past karma, which doesn't have evidence, no investigation, but get punished. And the last question, though the question was not explicitly asked, but it is there in the question, which is, if God is cause of all causes, then He is also cause of my misdeeds. How can I alone be blamed for my karma? Let's first understand one thing. This world is called samsara. There is no way that one can be fully happy forever. It could be either good people or bad people. Both has to go through both things in their life, happiness and distress. Both good and bad happens for both good people and bad people. No one is an exception. But you may say, no, I see those bad people are really doing well. It's me who's suffering. But the question is, how do we know they're not suffering? We don't live with them. We are not always with them. We may know them through newspapers, medias, through some contacts. Even if they are known people, how much do we know their life? Everyone has different levels of problems in life. Another way of seeing this is when we get familiar with something for the first time, then any consecutive things that we see will be of the same nature. Let me explain this. If we have never seen a Tesla car and we are staying for the first time in one of our friend's house, interestingly, if you have noticed, from that day onwards, when you're driving, you will start seeing so many Tesla cars. It's not that these cars were not there yesterday. It was always there. But then since we got exposed to Tesla car today, when I start driving, mostly I see Tesla cars. Does it mean there are no Audi, Acura, BMW, Benz, Toyota, Honda, etc.? They are there. In fact, they are more than the Tesla, at least in the automobile world as of now. Likewise, when we see some bad people enjoying, we start only seeing similar kind of people. That does not mean good people are not enjoying. We may encounter a good people or good person suffering. Then we always start seeing a similar type of people who suffer. But that does not mean the bad people are not suffering. So the point is, both good and bad happens to both good people and bad people. It all depends on how much we know the people, how much we know the world. We simply cannot say that only good people are suffering. Actually, it is a truth that mostly good things are happening in everyone's life in the world. In fact, if we do a survey, we will surely find out there are less of bad things happens in one life and more of good thing happens. But we only start picking up on the bad things, which is less in number. Therefore, what we focus on becomes, between the good and bad, becomes the level of pain point or pleasure point in us. If we give more importance to the bad things, we will get more suffering. If we give more importance to the good things, we will get enjoyment. But one may say, well, I have suffered a lot in my life. Yes, you could have, but also in between those suffering, surely there would have been some happy moments as well. There is always an interval between two goods and two bads. Between two goods, there will be a bad. Between two bads, there will be a good event. You must have enjoyed your school life, or you must have enjoyed your college life. You must have enjoyed your job, the first job, your salary, your marriage, children, parties, buying your first car, buying a house, making a trip to some places, watching movies, going to restaurants. Many things would have happened in between those problems. There could be possibly very few whose life is miserable right from their birth up to this point. But majority of them are doing good. Therefore, this happiness and suffering is very relative. A rich man who's living a happy life, for him, even a small pain is a big suffering. For a poor man, even a big sufferings may be small. For a rich man, in getting $1 million house is not a big joy. But for a poor man, paying off his monthly rent is a big joy. Therefore, the happiness and sufferings are quite relative terms. When my car breaks down, I am on the suffering end, whereas the auto shop is on the joyful side. Therefore, we cannot expect anything better in this world than constant fluctuation between good and bad. This is the main reason why the great saints always wanted to escape from this material world, because it is a mix of both good and bad, which cannot be avoided or stopped being within this world, because that is how this world is designed. And if anyone asks a question, why even this has been designed like this, we have already addressed that question in past in the audio recording number 36, titled Why Even God Needs to Create This World. So what to do? Say if you're staying in a cold place where winter is severe, windy, or staying in a very hot place, burning hot, we can't keep complaining about it, because it is a place which is going to be hot, and that is a place which is going to be cold, because that's the swabhava, nature of those locations. Those locations did not send you an invitation to come and live there. It is you who choose to go and live there. Therefore, it was your choice. So we have only two options. One is either get adjusted to the cold weather or get adjusted to the hot weather and live there. Make arrangements to keep yourself warm in the cold weather and cool in the hot weather. If it is too much to maintain yourself in this way, the second option is move to a different place where you feel more comfortable. Similarly, staying in this world and complaining about this world being bad or good is not always happening doesn't even have a discussion point, because it is the way it is. You can't go to Chicago during winter and start complaining that's too windy, it's freezing cold. You either equip yourself with proper jacket, gloves, boots, etc. to face the windy weather, or move out of that place. What is the point simply blaming the city? What is the point simply blaming the samsara? Because the duality, good and bad, are the swabhava of this samsara, which cannot be changed, which will not change. Either we get adjusted or makes ourselves protected, not being affected by these good and bad, or we just get out of this samsara. Doesn't mean that we go to heavenly planet, because samsara means not only the Earth planet, it includes all the 14 planetary systems, the entire Prakriti. So, what we have addressed in this recording, good and bad, happens to both good and bad people. It is not only good people who suffers, not the bad people. And the second point we learned is there's no point in simply whining about this material world. It is not going to change. We change or we get out of this place. The other sub questions will be answered later. Thank you. Hare Krishna.